Okay, hold on. To start off, I want to talk about this one little tidbit. Should Lupin have married Tonks?
Oh, he needs therapy.
If he felt that strongly about it, he shouldn't have. Because it's like he's regretting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he got forced into it, or like she manipulated him to get married. I don't know.
No, he wanted it, and now he's saying in a moment of weakness he gave into what he wanted. That's terrible. I mean, I feel for him, kind of, but
Yeah, and now he even hates it even more because
Right.
he's like gonna have a child.
yeah, he has a lot to work through.
It reminded me of. Never mind.
She just like bowed her head in prayer. That was very somber.
I feel like he's stressed now, but we can't take him at his word right now. So I feel like later, I want to see how he reacts when he's not stressed, being an outsider hunted by the Dark Lord, child on the way, etc. I feel like he's just in a weird moment where we can't listen to him now, but he did choose to marry her. He did, in some sense, choose to have a child. So I feel like, yeah, he should have married her. He did want it, and there's a big part of him that thought it was a good idea for however long they were engaged and approaching marriage. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna stick by that side of it.
Yeah, just in a moment of stress.
Yeah.
It's like he's very self-deprecating, and he's very I feel like everything he felt like was his fault when he was a kid. So I feel like when he's going into this right now, he still feels like everything's his fault, and he just caves in on himself and like has a lot of pity for himself. But I still feel bad for the whole situation that happened. Like I feel like he was pressured into this. If he came to this on his own terms, I don't think this chapter would have happened in that way where like he's having this breakdown. Yeah, I'm having some indigestion issues as well. So
It's gonna be a good one.
I wish the camera saw that face.
I looked away. Sorry, that was
no.
a good moment ruined by my burp.
But yeah, I don't know. He's a really fascinating character to me.
Yeah, I haven't fully psychoanalyzed him yet, but I was just like, he just needs to go through some therapy, work through some things right now.
On a different note,
Probably
Go ahead. You look like you're gonna get really deep there, and I just ruined the moment.
Yeah, because I'm like, you want to go? We don't have to.
Yeah,
to
let's
go
get real deep on Lupin.
It's not that deep. I forgot. I forgot. Shoot.
Fish in
Oh,
the
yeah. Because I think you said he has a moment of weakness, but then is it because of what everything's going on and being a half breed is like scary now? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what we're referring to?
Yeah, I think a part of it.
I think a big part of it is that he's afraid of like infecting the child with his disease, and like now they're going after like half breeds or whatever you call them in any capacity.
I think JK. I don't know if I'm positive on this, but it's ringing a bell in my head. I think she modeled werewolves as like the same stigma that AIDS patients have. So I think that's kind of how she framed the whole discussion. I don't know. It might be something else in it. And I think there's like a slightly controversial one that they talk about.
Don't worry.
What? Yeah, I know. I will get corrected. Yeah. But I think that he has immense guilt over it. It's something that like really wasn't his fault for
right. None of it
being bitten by a werewolf. You know.
Yeah.
On another note.
On another note of someone who needs therapy, Petunia. Petunia in Lily's letter that Harry found. Petunia found Petunia gifted Lily a vase.
I missed that.
It was a small little thing. Harry was flying and knocked over the vase when he was like a 1-year-old. An ugly vase. And Lily was like, I'm glad that it's gone. You know, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
But is Petunia trying to do something by giving the vase?
Make peace. She gave a lily to Lily.
Yeah. And
Like,
maybe
what
a
was in
Petunia
the
to Lily.
vase, yeah. I guess
We
I
don't
was
know what
picturing-
she is, though.
Yeah. Like,
Is
was
she
their
a
relationship
squib?
good at
Is
this
she
point?
just a
Bad?
muggle?
Lots of questions.
Do they like each other? But she also took Harry in. She could have said, "No way, I'm not protecting this." You
Did
guys are
Petunia think it was
freaks."
ugly?
What's ugly?
The vase.
Oh, you're talking about specifically an ugly vase?
Yeah, like was that because it's all we know about their relationship really is
An
that there was a
ugly
little bit of tension back in the day, and
Was there tension?
yeah, only because well we were
What
kind of
do
left
your
thinking she
notes
didn't
say?
really like James Potter. She had current time Petunia had negative things to say about him from back in the day, right? And then I think. Yeah, maybe we're just reading into her based on how like nasty she is now, but maybe she wasn't. So maybe back in the day, she just has different vase taste than her sister, and she thought it was a cute vase. Maybe they have a good relationship, or maybe she knew it was an ugly vase and she was trying to like send some kind of message. I don't know.
Wait.
In Kreacher's tail.
There's also something, I'm not going to bring it up right now. We're going to bring it up in a second. But there's also something interesting in this letter that has become significant headcanon for a lot of fans. It probably isn't, but because JK hasn't confirmed or denied it, but a lot of fans love this idea. So we're going to talk
180.
about it in a second, but welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
Jenn.
Danny?
And Kristen.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
Hey, if you love this podcast, go consider supporting us on YouTube or Patreon. That is like the two best ways that you can really support this podcast is YouTube and Patreon memberships. You can also just subscribe to us on YouTube. That's where we do live streams. We play some Hogwarts Legacy. We kind of just hang out. It's a good time. You can also join our Reddit, which is r/firsttimereaders. We have a Discord. All the information is on Reddit. I put a post on Reddit that's just called Socials. It gives all information for Instagram, Twitter, all that other stuff. So go check that out. And just enjoy these chapters of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, chapters 10 to 11.
Okay, let's jump right into it because we have a lot to talk about in both of these chapters.
Oh, I know you're going to ask.
Oh.
What am I going to ask? Go ahead.
The invisibility cloak.
I mean, I am going to ask about that, but there's a different headcanon.
Oh, okay.
It's something kind of minor in the letter that a lot of people
But
just
now I
really
wanna
like.
guess it, so don't
I
say
know.
it.
Okay, go ahead. Read it. Reread the letter real quick. I'll cut the blank space out of the
Okay.
podcast. Reread it and see if you can guess. I don't think you're going to guess this.
The broomstick? Oh, okay. Now I got to find something obscure.
It's not crazy obscure, but you just have to make a connection with something else.
My connection
nearly
would be
killed
that
McGonagall.
McGonagall was protecting Harry
McGonagall
as a child.
As a grandma.
He nearly
That's
killed
right.
McGonagall.
Yeah, that is what I'm thinking it is. That McGonagall is the cat in this scenario and
Okay.
protecting Harry. That'd be a cool little
It
headcanon.
would be cool. That actually would be really cool headcanon, to be honest.
But let me keep reading in case there's more.
Yeah, but what about the Quidditch player? That he's going to be a Quidditch player? These are all
That was cool.
obvious
Yeah, that was an
things,
obvious
though.
one, yeah. But that was kind of a cool little thing that they threw in.
Wait a second. Is it Christmas or is it his birthday? Packing away the ornaments? What's that all about?
It's Christmas at this time.
Okay, so
Which-
it's a Christmas present. It's Christmas, but she's thanking for Harry's birthday present from September.
Yeah,
Harry's
because Sirius
birthday
hasn't seen them
present.
in a while. Sirius hasn't gone and visited, so she's like thanking him for the present that he gave a while ago. Because I guess that he hasn't come for a long time.
Okay, yeah. So that's like kind of birthday stuff, moving along. So they're just not in a lot of contact. So
Yeah.
she's like catching him up on, hey, in the last 3 months, here's
Yeah.
what happened.
More than that, more than like the last half year. That's why Sirius really hadn't visited him or something. There's something interesting. Yeah, there's something interesting behind
Wormy?
that.
No.
Danny was close. I'll give you that. Danny was close.
I didn't even listen to him.
It's about the cat.
It is about the cat. I said.
What did
Well,
you say?
no,
It was about
no.
the cat.
I said it at the same time as it. Well, in my head, I said it.
Yeah, no, you did say it. You just
think
went
I said
straight
it
to
with you.
McGonagall.
I said
Yeah.
McGonagall was the cat. Oh, I know. I'm not gonna say it.
Was with the cat.
Yeah. Okay. Someone else in the series has a really old cat
Oh.
that got along really
Oh
well
my
with
gosh,
Sirius
with
Black.
Petunia?
No.
Some people think that Crookshanks is the cat that the Potters owned, and that Crookshanks got
Oh,
away after the
that's
whole fight scene and
interesting.
went to the Emporium. And Hermione, because the cat had been there for years, Hermione went to this this animal Emporium and saw Crookshanks, and Crookshanks immediately went to her. I guess recognizing, maybe like smelling Harry or something like that. And that Crookshanks is actually the cat that belonged to the Potters.
Wow, that is a story.
That's a headcanon right there.
I was just watching all these like meme things on Disney's and how all the stories interconnect.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, I'm
Those
like,
ones are
I
so
feel like I
cool.
was bringing this up.
I know we're doing that. We're connecting all the books by cats. But it's not the most popular fan theory, but it's a
And she hasn't denied.
She
or
hasn't denied it, yeah.
confirmed.
most people don't think it's actually correct because
How old would that cat have to be?
yeah, because that's a normal cat and Crookshanks is a Kneasel, which is a wizard-ish cat. It's supposed to be smarter than a typical cat. A Kneasel. I know. It's crazy that I know
in
this.
your Fantastic Beasts book that you have over there?
Yep, it
that's
actually
studied?
is. I studied that one. But let's give me a summary of chapter 10, Kreacher's Tale. There was a lot in this chapter.
All right, Danny, you can help me out if I miss anything.
All right.
I wrote, Harry finds a letter written from his mother. He is also wrestling with what to believe about Dumbledore. They found the name R.A.B., but could not find the locket. And then we get Kreacher's story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. There's like a little budding romance between Hermione and that's been budding for literally all 7 books. But there was this line that kind of broke my heart. It said Harry wondered whether they had fallen asleep holding hands. The idea made him feel strangely lonely. That one kind of crushed me a little bit.
Yeah, that was bittersweet for one of my favorite moments.
Yeah. Because it's such a cute moment for Ron and
Yes.
Hermione, but
Yeah, it was really sad for him.
I can imagine you're like the third wheel in the relationship now.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But this is another line, and this is when they think someone broke in. So the wardrobe doors stood open and the bedclothes had been ripped back. Harry remembered the overturned troll leg downstairs. Somebody had searched the house since the order had left. Snape? Or perhaps Mundungus, who had pilfered plenty from this house both before and after Sirius died. What are you guys
I'm
what are you
trying
guys
not
doing
to
over
look
there?
at Kristen so I don't laugh. And then I looked at Danny and he thinks that I'm like doing some creepy
What?
thing.
I just looked up because you looked at me weird.
Yeah, it wasn't like a.
Sorry, she was
you
trying to
went like
avoid
that.
I felt your eyes on me.
Well, I'm glad you feel them on you.
All right. Has someone been looking through Grimmauld Place? I feel like the question doesn't make any sense now.
Oh yeah, everything is turned over. So we were talking about Snape possibly going in looking for something.
It would have to be Snape or Mundungus, right? If there was any bad intent, it could be Tonks or anyone else from the Order. If they were looking
Mundungus.
for something like helpful, hey, let's look for this thing real quick. Actually, come to think of it, it's possible it was just Kreacher. Again, on some kind of like either twisted mission or like he was just going a little stir crazy or something.
Wait, can he go back there? I thought he had to stay at Hogwarts until. Harry said-
That's
Yeah.
weird. I assumed over the summer he went back. Like when the students left Hogwarts, I assumed he did. But actually, I have no idea. Maybe all of the house elves stay at Hogwarts forever, all year round, whatever. But there'd be way less to do if they were not doing laundry for the kids.
And they're all taking summer school classes.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Hogwarts. That's our headcanon.
That's
right there.
it. Yep. Instead of night classes, that
Yeah.
makes more sense. Really focused.
Oh, in my head, they go to an island and they get to rest.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
That's a little better.
Dobby in a Speedo.
That was not official.
You would wear a Speedo too. That's actually, I like that. Good headcanon right there.
Oh boy, there's your
Weird
next
headcanon.
picture for the merch.
Yeah. Wow, nice. Ooh. we
Got a lot
got
of
some
great
doozies.
stuff, actually. Some great stuff. We need AI to start making some of this content or
Yeah.
making some of these images for us.
Yeah, they're so wearable.
There are mice here. Interesting. Moths, mice, spiders.
Yeah.
Danny, just coming out of left field.
Yeah, just bringing it back from Speedos. So it kind of fascinates me that critters can get in here. And I'm wondering if there are workarounds from some of the spells if someone was an animagus.
Where did you
Interesting.
get animagus from?
Well, I'm just saying,
So if it's
we know that
connected with Fidelius charm.
there were those magical critters from the previous book that they were catching that were like kind of stinging them. There were spiders. They had to put mothballs and things because moths were there, and I brought this up back then. And now we know that there are mice. So mammals, that's the next level. So could Wormtail get in rat form? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Or can an animagus have
like
enough
sneak
human
in?
stuff that, for example, Hermione's revealio human thing would show even a rat form human? Or if as a rat form you can get around some of that stuff, could Wormtail get in here? Could he have been the one searching around? Or anyone else at an animagus form?
But if
Or
I-
even transformation?
Well,
Maybe.
Sirius was able to leave Azkaban, but is that different?
Yeah, that's a little bit different because it's not
not
Azkaban's not necessarily
charm.
hidden. But that's actually an interesting question. But he left because Dementors feed on human emotion and not really animal emotion. Or they can, but I think like dog sentience is like lower than human sentience. So they
Wait,
couldn't quite feed on
Wormtail's the only
emotions.
one that's still an animagus. I mean, out of the whole crew that's alive. Sorry, my whole
Yeah, well,
brain.
Yeah, true. He is, yeah.
Yeah.
And Rita Skeeter.
Oh, that's true.
So they're the only two we know of. But we know McGonagall can do transformation. Oh, no, she is an
McGonagall isn't a
animagus. Yeah,
registered
you're right.
animagus.
She's registered. So 3. We know 3 people.
Why didn't they
McGonagall
do that?
still
Now
could
I
be
keep
evil.
thinking about that. I'm like, they had all this time.
I know.
But they never actually knew how to do it. But
Yeah, we knew how to do it.
We knew how to do it, but I don't know if they.
Yeah,
did.
but I was gonna say,
don't know
but
if they
John-
researched. I'm sure.
Wait,
John
did you
is
read
way
it?
more
studied
You
than
read
them.
it.
I
to
read the
us.
steps, but that's the
why.
steps
I'm
that
like,
she wrote.
it's in my brain. It's in
For
the
sure.
book. And
But
I
it was
like,
crazy steps, and we were talking
Yeah.
about how maybe you could use a time
But
turner to do it,
Sirius and Lupin.
They
were a
did
part
figure
of
out how
it.
to do it.
but they did
True.
it because they had dire need for it for their friend, which is cool. I don't know if Harry, Ron, and
Well,
Hermione
now
really
they
had
had
need
dire
for it.
need of it.
I know, that's
but
true.
they didn't know then.
But it still would have been just like a bonus fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And who knows what kind of animal? Like Ron might have been an elephant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like very unhelpful. So he's like, "Here we go, guys."
That was like great.
He's just like an elephant, and you're like, "What's going on?"
What the heck?
I'm just
there
saying-
has not been an elephant ever in any of these.
Yeah, but if there was
That was a
anyone, it
random
could be someone
animal
like
to
Ron.
choose.
You don't get to choose what you are. I forgot.
No, you just it's kind of like in your nature, and
Yeah.
that's why it's.
And
I think
Ron
of it
would
as
be
being
an
similar
elephant.
to the
Patronus.
Patronus. Yeah, but we
Yeah.
don't know that for sure. But we speculated because Harry's Patronus is his dad's animagus.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Patronus is genetic. Maybe animagus is genetic.
There's
We don't
probably
know.
something genetic in it.
So maybe Ron would become a weasel.
Yeah.
Maybe. And that'd be fine. That'd be cute. It'd be adorable and even helpful in some of these
His
situations.
Patronus, I think, is a Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, who?
Ron's.
Oh, I forgot we might know his because
Yeah,
they were
Jack
doing
Russell
it when they
Terrier.
were Dumbledore's army.
Yeah.
Wait,
Cool.
then what's Hermione again?
An otter.
Cat? An otter.
Mhm.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That is cute.
I always loved otters.
Yeah, they're so cute.
And these are
They
helpful
fall asleep.
animals.
What
They
were
could
you
be that.
Oh my gosh, 2 of the. Anyway, that was.
You're about to go on an otter tangent right there.
Real life. We're not Harry Potter world. Reel it back.
What's your Patronus?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were a cat or something.
Am
Only
I a
because
cat?
we were discussing
Yeah.
it
I
last
forget.
time.
That was
and
a
then you
long
weren't
time
here.
ago.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't remember like
All
why I
right.
walked into the next room,
I had
guys.
to look it back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to find that out again.
That was like over a year ago.
Sorry. Anyways,
I might have
Um,
been a cat.
I thought so.
We can go with that.
Fox, cat, rabbit, dog.
So proud. Husky, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I
That's
think a
great.
husky. Well, yeah.
So in one of the more touching moments, I think in the books, Harry gets a letter he sees a letter from his mom that his mom had written to Sirius, and doesn't get the second half of the letter, but there's all sorts of interesting stuff, and it kind of gives Harry like a little sneak peek. And one of my favorite things is before he even reads it, he's like the words aren't registering on the page for him, but he says, she made her G's just like he did.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's so cute. Such a cute little thing. But then she mentions something in this letter, and she says, Bathilda drops in most days. She's a fascinating old thing with the most amazing stories about Dumbledore. I'm not sure he'd be pleased if I knew. I don't know how much to believe, actually, because it seems incredible that Dumbledore... So there's two things. What was she going to say? What was she going to finish with this letter?
Can I backtrack?
Yeah,
really
for
quick?
sure.
The History of Magic, she wrote this.
Yes.
But is this the one that was killed by Voldemort recently?
No.
No, that was another
Yeah,
teacher.
that was Charity Burbage, the teacher of Muggle studies at Hogwarts.
Muggle studies, okay.
So Bathilda Bagshot doesn't teach at Hogwarts. She's just a magical historian who
Got
lives
it.
in Godric's Hollow and wrote Hogwarts history and wrote various other textbooks that the students read.
All right. I
And
just wanted to clarify.
Aunt Muriel mentioned her too. And I don't know if there was any truth to it,
Aunt
but we were
Muriel,
speculating.
The Weasleys'
Yeah.
aunt. That's 107 years old
Yep.
or something.
Nice,
Wow.
Jen.
I remember
Look at
numbers.
And I think we
Wow.
were
Wow, I got
That's
nothing.
when I repeat them.
Yeah.
I go home and I'm like, now remember, Jen. Aunt Muriel is- As soon as we get in the car, we review.
They wake up,
I'm like, now here's your homework.
Lines pointing to all the different characters. And
Someone was
times.
literally just saying that. Someone was like, someone needs to put Danny's face on the meme of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Yes.
with all the lines going everywhere.
You guys have a wall in your house like that, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. We were speculating that she might be the source Rita Skeeter has for that for the book about the Dumbledores. And I don't
Okay,
remember
I
how
like
much
to
truth there was to
remember-
that, or if we had any like real facts. But that's become kind of headcanon for me. So we'll
I
see.
could not remember in context like who she was.
Yeah.
Because she was
Yeah,
mentioned a few
we
times.
we just don't know much about her, except we're starting to respect her knowledge of history, even though somebody said she was going a little kooky.
A little baddie, yeah. So Bathilda Bagshot she visits them, and then Lily mentions that James can't go out, first of all, because Dumbledore has the invisibility cloak, and then she says she's a fascinating little thing with the most amazing stories about Dumbledore. I'm not sure he'd be pleased if he knew. I don't know how much to believe, actually, because it seems incredible that Dumbledore ... and the letter goes on to the next page that Harry can't find. So, two questions onto this. What was she going to say? And what was Dumbledore doing with the cloak? Why did he use... what was he using the cloak for? Because Harry has this realization that Dumbledore said in the first book that he doesn't need an invisibility cloak to go unseen and to be hidden and to be invisible. So why would he need the invisibility cloak?
I was thinking he doesn't need it. He was just taking it away so that way. What's his name? Couldn't
James wouldn't do stupid stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
He is Harry's dad, after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
So that's how I took it. He's not using it, but he just took it.
And I was thinking she was going to go on to say, it seems incredible that Dumbledore, and then would go tell the story that we're speculating is going to happen about Dumbledore's sister and family, some of this drama that we don't know yet, but we're going to learn the weirdness around all of that. I think through Bathilda, Lily learned some of that, and she's surprised by it. So I think that's what the letter maybe even went on to say. I'm wondering how long ago Dumbledore knew that there were Horcruxes around, and if it's possible he needed the invisibility cloak to get to a Horcrux, even back then. Could he have been collecting them for that long?
But he has none.
No, he couldn't have been, because he still wanted the memory from Slughorn.
Yeah. But
And it
that
felt
was
like
to
that was
confirm
his
it.
final step. No, but he already did the whole thing with the ring before that memory of Slughorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
he didn't do it. This is like
This
how
is
many-
before Harry's
13 years
Thi-
ago.
oh, yeah, this
been
is-
killed. So this is
17 years ago or 16 years ago. Harry's
Okay,
17
numbers. You just tell me the number. I don't do the math.
No, but I'm saying it's so long ago that it's before Voldemort even came back. So it seems a little unlikely that Dumbledore was looking for Horcruxes.
But he was.
But maybe.
He had planted a few Horcruxes already. He was already tethering his soul to their.
So that would be
Horcruxes.
Dumbledore. If he had any inkling that there were Horcruxes of Voldemort's, Dumbledore would be looking for them because it's the only way to guarantee he wouldn't come back.
He probably had some inkling because there's the stories where Dumbledore or Voldemort wanted to get hired by Dumbledore.
True.
And Dumbledore was questioning him. Why are you here tonight? Why do you actually want to be here?
He already knew that there were ulterior motives, but he didn't know what they were.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yep.
So he was always cautious of what Voldemort was up to. And that kind of plagues through all the memories too. Like you see Dumbledore in any of their interactions, he's always talking about that. Like he's a collector of things and he was always suspicious of him. So he probably had some very faint maybe understandings of that, but maybe not completely at the moment. So
We still don't know where the invisibility cloak came from, and we don't know how special it is.
Yeah.
At first, we thought it was really, really special. And then we're like, there are other ones. We've heard of other invisibility cloaks. So then it kind of like got a little less special, but it still could be more special if it came from someone important. And I'm wondering, I can't remember if I already had this epiphany and it's been shot down, but is Godric's Hollow like Godric Gryffindor? And is there any connection to like ancient magic in this place?
wow. Danny was the first one to mention that.
Just because it feels like then I'm like, well, I don't really know much about it, but like the Potters are one of those big families of importance potentially, or like, could this be a family heirloom that has more significance? That could it be a Horcrux? All these things are just like possibilities.
What be a Horcrux? The town?
No, not the town. The cloak.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of reasons Dumbledore would want to like examine it, assuming he's not using it because he could become invisible on his own.
So the cloak, yeah, I remember you mentioned that before. The cloak would be a Horcrux.
Like if it was,
I don't forget how many we already had.
I feel like it's more likely he'd be using it to get to, because if it was a Horcrux, he would have told Harry if he had all his time to examine it. And he gave it back to Harry intentionally when he was older. So Dumbledore had it for like more than a decade.
Well, because didn't he die soon after this whole thing?
Yeah,
Like-
James and Lily did, yeah.
Right.
So I'm still just kind of curious
Where
about
else would it go? Dumbledore would hold on to it.
it. Yeah, exactly. So, but if it was, I'm saying I don't think it'd be a Horcrux right under his nose that whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It seems unlikely. I just don't know why he kept it. Unless your theory is the right one, he just didn't want James to use
but
it
it
to
could
go
just
do
be
silly stuff.
like a memory, and you hold on to like a keepsake of the person he lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And just keep it safe,
And then
waiting
when
for Harry.
Harry's
Yeah,
here, you can have it back. I don't know. There's so many questions and no answers.
I know.
but I
It's
like
real.
that it prevents him from doing little excursions because that would be a mistake.
And that's what Dumbledore
So
knew,
good move,
'cause
Dumbledore, even if
he's
it's as simple as that.
smart and he trusts everyone.
Um,
And I don't even know if we're supposed to like him.
yeah, we're gonna talk about Dumbledore in a second because there's a interesting little line here. But I think again, this is one of my favorite parts in this whole chapter, especially with this whole series. He read the letter again, but could not take in any more meaningful than he had done the first time, and was reduced to staring at the handwriting itself. She had made her G's the same way he did. He searched through the letter for every one of them, and each felt like a friendly little wave glimpsed from beyond the veil. The letter was an incredible treasure, a proof that Lily Potter had lived, really lived, that her warm hand had once moved across this parchment, tracing ink into these letters, these words about him, Harry, her son. Oh man, crushing. But then we get this line that his parents had known Bathilda Bagshot, and Dumbledore introduced him. Dumbledore still got his invisibility cloak. There was something funny there. Harry, do you really think you'll get the truth from a malicious old woman like Muriel or from Rita Skeeter? How can you believe them? You knew Dumbledore. I thought I did, he muttered. But you know how much truth there was in everything Rita wrote about you? Doge is right. How can you let these people tarnish your memory of Dumbledore? He looked away, trying not to betray the resentment he felt. There it was again. Choose what to believe. He wanted the truth. Why was everybody so determined that he should not get it? So what is the truth here with Dumbledore? Is he shady?
At least a little bit withholding. There's more to the story. He is not being fully forthcoming with Harry or anyone else about his family, his sister, why his brother punched him, or anything. He didn't even tell Harry he ever lived in the town that his parents were in. You know, like, he's keeping secrets at the least. So to me, that is shady. Even if nothing else is, kind of. And Lily thought it was, well, not shady. She thought it was incredible that Dumbledore would. But she could be hearing the rumors too, because now we're starting to doubt the official story about his history.
That's probably an obvious thing, but Bathilda Bagshot, she wrote a history of magic, which includes just the history of how magic came about. So ancient magic.
Ancient magic, there you go. Yeah.
So I wondered if Dumbledore got the prophecy happened before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they were hiding them. So I wonder if Bathilda and Dumbledore knew about how this whole thing was going to go down with Voldemort, like how to defeat him, protect him, or whatever. And so it started like young, like, let me introduce you to the parents of him and let's start like getting things in order.
So does she have a lot more information that Harry needs? Like, will they ever go visit Bathilda Bagshot in this?
They should.
Even though she's batty, they definitely should.
Even though she's batty, we don't really know that just because a
reporter
reporter said that.
Yeah.
Or
and maybe she's smart enough to fake that kind of thing too. If she didn't want to give, no, it seems silly.
Because she seems like, it says that she like was sweet to us and dotes on Harry. So like that doesn't sound, unless she's good at faking it and being like a Death Eater or whatever.
Just another imposter.
Anyway, yeah, that's just something that I wondered. And the invisibility cloak, maybe there's something with it. Could it be bloodlines in it? And like, if you carry it with you, you're protected. Or if it was your parents' item that you have with you, you're protected. I don't know.
What do you mean protected? Protected from what?
From Voldemort, like dark magic. Like if you always had that cloak with you, it's like your parents are protecting you. Because it was his. So he had to hold on to the cloak because it was important because they knew it was going to happen. Maybe. I don't know. Did they know that the Potter parents were going to die? I don't know. But the cloak was, it's obviously important for some reason. Dumbledore still got. Like, is there some kind of, like, inheritance? Like, it's passed down to, like, in the family? It doesn't really say that, right? James.
Yeah, where
did he get it from?
Fascinating question. Yeah, where did James get it from?
And is it one of those things? Like an heirloom that has ancient magic protection?
Ancient magic.
How many times did I say in the past 5 seconds?
People are drinking.
I just
Sorry.
keep reading over this letter here because the timeline is not making sense.
What?
The Christmas birthday thing.
Yeah, people celebrate people's birthdays because they haven't seen them at a different time of year.
Yeah, but he's not there celebrating though.
Who's not there?
Well, I'm just saying the present. He's 1 year old. Birthday present. Then she talks about Christmas. Then she talks about the birthday. Then she talks about ornaments. And then she talks about the birthday again. It's like, this is all at the same time. It just doesn't like, we had a very quiet birthday tea, just us. And then she says, we're sorry you couldn't come. It sounds recent.
They're hiding though.
No, I know. But it just, the timing of Harry's birthday and Christmas doesn't make sense. Unless Christmas in July is a very serious thing in England. But here's what I'm saying. What if Harry's birthday is not July 31st? And what if his birthday is actually later and that's why they could track him when they left the thing because his youth thing didn't expire yet.
All right.
Because otherwise, how did they find him? That's what keeps getting me. The Death Eaters knew where he was. They went to that cafe purposefully. Yeah. It's the only thing that makes sense.
So who told him it was his birthday?
I don't know. But what I've been assuming this whole time is that he got his Hogwarts letter the morning after his birthday. But have we talked to anyone else? Because do you get your letter a year in advance? It was July 31st. He celebrated his birthday, and the next morning he got his letter. But maybe everyone gets their letter 1 month, exactly 1 month, before you have to go to the train station. Because it just happened for Harry. That was 1 month. He thought it was a birthday thing, or maybe I just did. But what about everyone else who has birthdays at other times of the year? You sitting on this acceptance letter for a whole year?
Wouldn't Dumbledore know his real birthday?
Do all the letters go out at the same time?
And he would have said, no, Harry, actually, your birthday is in December.
Wait, did he tell Dumbledore his birthday? I'm just trying to think of any other times it may have come up.
I don't understand.
Oh, wait. The present from Sirius, his broom.
So what
was
is
that a birthday
the
present?
importance of this, though?
Well, it just means that that's how he would be tracked. And it means that Harry can't leave Grimmauld Place until near Christmas time. If it's true that his birthday is near Christmas, then it means they're literally not safe to leave the house until then.
You think they were tricking everyone? But who
But
told
why?
him? But who told him it was his birthday in July if it's actually December?
Yeah, that'd be cruel.
But it maybe.
What was the point of that?
Yeah, who would have?
That's
It
I'm
would have been the
asking you.
Dursleys.
You're
It would have
the
been the
one that's,
Dursleys.
like on this theory.
But why would the Dursleys think that?
And then why would the letter come for Harry on his actual
The day
July
after his
31st?
birthday.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Oh,
because
well, yeah, I guess they always come, so it's not necessarily related to your birthday. So
that's what I'm
actually a
saying.
good point,
I
yeah.
assume every student who would enroll that year would get it on the same day.
Yeah.
So mass owls leave Hogwarts
they get it September 1st,
30
I
days
think, yeah,
before,
or July 31st,
regardless of
yeah.
birthday. But I have always been thinking it was related to his birthday, that every kid, when he turns 11, if he is invited to Hogwarts, he gets that letter. And you can only go to Hogwarts on the 1st if you turned 11 before the 1st.
Okay, but
because everyone else is older than Harry.
I'm gonna squash this right now because
Yeah.
Lupin and Sirius know his birthday. They have to. They were all friends.
I'm trying to think of the kids in my life if I know their birthdays. Yeah, I do. I do know their birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Not my nieces and nephews, but we've only been married a little bit. I'll get there.
He's working on it.
But did Lupin and Sirius know?
I think as it's getting closer to his tracking coming off, they'd be like, "You do know your birthday's in December, right?
And he left. He had to stay at.
You're turning 17."
I'm trying to think how long he had to stay at the Dursleys' house for it to be home, because he had to be 17. But then they tracked him anyway. They knew when he was leaving, or maybe they didn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but none of those people in the order would have known? Because isn't that what you were just saying?
Well, what I'm saying is, who else would know? Did Dumbledore? Well, Dumbledore must have known, especially if he thought Harry was.
I don't know.
important.
I think they're banking like the entire like future of good wizards on Harry living, so I think that would come up.
Yeah, they probably know his birthday, at least to some extent.
Well, is there any advantage to it being a different day?
What you said, I think the one thing that you
so
said
bad.
was the tracking thing just makes sense if
The
he saw the
tracking
trace
thing
on
That's
him
what I'm
in some
saying.
way.
The
Okay.
tracking thing, and I forgot until I'm reading this, and I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. As I read this letter, face value, she's writing this at Christmas time.
Yeah, but
Maybe,
she's also
like-
a woman, and we know how our brain goes from one topic to another, and then we go back to that topic, and then you go back. So now you know a little better, right?
Danny's so confused
notes.
over here. He's really like that. It's always sunny in Philadelphia meme with women's minds right now.
I'm tracking women's minds.
All right, so keep that on the back
All right,
burner,
I'm gonna
Danny,
keep it
or
on
the
the
front
back
burner,
burner.
or wherever you want to keep it. But
No, keep
if
it
they
way,
want to talk about
next time they
way
leave.
back to the way back.
I want to talk
Simmer.
about
The
Kreacher's
simmer
tail
burner.
for a bit.
Oh, what a tale.
What did you guys think about Kreacher's tail?
Sad.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
tragic.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how you can really hate a character, one of the most hated characters in the series, and then for a few paragraphs, you love him?
That's like Draco, though, too.
Mm.
She's pretty good at that.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you have pity on Draco. You almost start liking Kreacher. Like, I don't necessarily know if people really, really like Draco, but
All right. Fair.
For Kreacher, it's something different.
Just saying.
I guess it's pity too. But man, she's good at that.
Well, I think because of the pity, they start liking him, and then you start to like him.
Yeah,
as the reader.
Agreed.
Maybe.
So what do you think of his whole memory, though?
We don't see things the same. What?
Danny, when is Kreacher's birthday?
Oh boy.
How long do they live? They probably live a long time.
They have some good magic though. They should use these. They're gonna collect all of these house elves, and house elves are gonna defeat Voldemort.
That would be great.
All these half breeds and people he didn't consider.
I feel like they could be pretty crafty.
Well, the fact that he was able to get back.
Yeah, the apparition thing is
disapparate,
incredible. Yeah,
I'm like, you guys got to use this to your advantage.
I know. So, do you think that they're gonna maybe like lug Kreacher around everywhere they go with him, because elf magic can not beat Voldemort, but like he didn't think of elf magic; it was so below him and beneath him.
They have gnomes in one arm,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the other arm they.
You guys are talking
their
about
house
gnome
elf.
saliva.
Ew.
Yeah, he's got to bite him.
Carry around a little Nomi.
Yep.
Did we talk about that today?
Oh no,
No.
last time during
Oh,
the
I was like,
library.
where did I fall asleep again?
Since Xenophilius likes gnomes, so do I.
So this was one of the lines that we got though. This then was how Voldemort had tested the defenses surrounding the Horcrux, by borrowing a disposable creature, a house elf. There was a basin full of potion on the island. The Dark Lord made Kreacher drink it. The elf quaked from head to foot. Kreacher drank, and as he drank, he saw terrible things. Kreacher's insides burned. Kreacher cried for Master Regulus to save him. He cried for his mistress Black, but the Dark Lord only laughed. He made Kreacher drink all the potion. He dropped a locket into the empty basin. He filled it with more potion. So again, what do you think of this memory? I'm going to read another quote to you after, but you start having pity for Kreacher here. And yeah, this is the other line too. Kreacher knew how to open the concealed entrance to the underground cavern, knew how to raise the tiny boat. This time it was his beloved Regulus who sailed with him to the island with a basin of poison. And he made you drink the potion, said Harry, disgusted. But Kreacher shook. He shook his head and wept. Hermione's hands leapt to her mouth. She seemed to have understood something. But Master Regulus took from his pocket a locket, like the one the Dark Lord had, said Kreacher, tears pouring down either side of his snout-like nose. And he told Kreacher to take it, and when the basin was empty, to switch the lockets. So when you were reading this tale, like it seems pretty. You trust Kreacher, right? You trust this is the right tale.
Yeah.
I tried not to, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, yeah, whatever he says, I'm not going to listen to it. And as soon as he starts, I'm like, he's getting me with his tears and over the top, whatever.
So was there anything in there that really stuck out to you? Like, is there any way here that any like bits of information that the gang really, really needed to know other than the obvious of like, they know where a Horcrux is now?
Yeah, like confirmation of who RAB was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think having a path, an action plan, like let's find this Horcrux, that's great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else major. I think the power of house elves to be able to, if Kreacher can be believed, kind of like get through some of these booby traps that potentially Voldemort overlooked the magic and power of house elves. And since they do kind of have Kreacher and potentially Dobby and 100 however many house elves at Hogwarts, I feel like that's a pretty good thing. But it still feels like you can't trust it fully.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that information, but it does feel like they learned a lot. But I think the most important thing that happened here was the change in the relationship between Harry and Kreacher.
Yeah.
As being actually like some respect. I feel like that already helped because Kreacher went out and found Mundungus. And if they didn't have a good relationship, I'm not so sure he would have done it so well.
Yeah. Even the little bit at the end where he gives him the locket and it takes Kreacher a half hour to compose himself again because he's so dumbfounded that he got a black family heirloom.
Yep.
Like Harry, this was an interesting moment in the books where Harry, I think he transitioned to realizing something that Hermione has been telling him all along, that he needs to like, that Sirius's downfall was that he thought very little of Kreacher. And like he needs to think, he needs to treat these people as like equals. Like Hermione has been doing that from the start. Like even like Kreacher has some funny moments too, especially in the next chapter when he gets Mundungus and he's like with the frying pan. That was great.
Oh yeah.
But like he keeps calling her the M word and Hermione doesn't like bat an eye. He's like, it's sick. Like he's been made this way by the people who who were like his owners. So it's like a pretty sick thing, but she's an incredible person. And Harry's finally realized that he needs to treat people, these creatures who are technically below him, with respect and honor. And I feel like he's doing that here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He's finally listening to a woman. Not just listening. He's maturing.
Yes. They cannot get they realize later, and that was funny because you guys, Danny had remembered every other object that they had in that little section except for the locket that just was this unopenable locket.
Got me.
So that was the object there that she hinted off in the 5th book, which is really fun.
There's no point of taking notes. Is what I'm
right in front of our faces. Should have taken better notes.
This is what we've learned.
But how are they going to open the locket? If Kreacher can't get it open, and if none of them in the order can get this locket open, how are they going to open the locket?
Who knows?
If they find it.
Phoenix feather.
Ancient
Tickle
magic. Yeah.
Whoa.
It laughs.
Actually, it's not such a bad idea.
It's not such a bad idea. I'm wondering if it can only open in certain places.
Maybe you have to love it.
Love the locket?
We went from tickling to loving it. Sorry. I'm back.
Yeah, like you just.
I'm wondering if any of what? Now it's a genie in a locket. You gotta rub it the right way. Oh my God. But it's so I'm also wondering, is it part of Dumbledore's riddle?
Oh, okay.
The locket?
Well, is that how you could open it?
I just thought of that too when I was thinking of Genie in the Bottle.
So are you saying like the snitch opens the locket?
I don't know, like either that
Wait,
or
what
the
did it say on
Deluminator
the
or some
snitch?
combination, or is it something in one of the fairy tale thingies?
I open up the closed.
So whose is the locket again?
Opens at the close of the locket.
Isn't that his mom's locket?
Wait, whose mom's?
Voldemort's.
Yeah, whose is the locket?
Wait, I'm right?
Yeah, I think.
Why are you staring at
No,
me?
I'm just making you confirm it. You say it more confidently.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember her name.
So yeah, so Voldemort got it from.
Voldemort got it from that lady that he killed, and he got the goblet for Ravenclaw?
No, Helga Hufflepuff's
Yeah.
cups.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't get the details.
Wait.
What's
The
that
lady
lady?
he killed?
Yeah, the lady when
Yeah.
he was like a teenager.
Oh, Helga
Hepzibah.
Hufflepuff. Okay, gotcha. But he got the locket from.
She had
He
it.
got it from Hepzibah. Yeah,
She had it too.
She had the
She
locket?
And
The
she's like,
locket.
and
He's like,
he
"Oh,
wanted it.
show
That's
it
why
to
he.
me."
Yeah, that's essentially why he killed her, because it belonged to him. Because it
Yep.
was he
Right.
was an heir of Salazar
I can't
Slytherin,
remember any names, but
and so this was like a Slytherin heirloom.
Right.
So this is a
Okay,
Slytherin
yes.
object. Same thing as the ring. The ring was a Gaunt family heirloom.
Mm-hmm.
Probably another Slytherin thing. But how they're gonna open
did
it?
he know he was Slytherin
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because of Dumbledore?
Well, his time at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I meant like the line of Slytherin is like.
Oh,
in
like
him.
who he actually was?
Yeah, like his mom was like.
We don't have a
when did he
a
figure that
lot
descendant
of
of
info.
Slytherin, right? We didn't know that. But then he opened up the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe
then
he learned
did
it.
know
And,
that.
yeah, because if he
But
opened
he
it,
already had
he
the
would have
lock
known he's
then?
the heir of
No,
Slytherin.
he did have the lock then because he was older. He was like a college kid or
Yeah,
something.
he didn't have it while he was at school.
Do you think either one of them knows what they're saying?
That's great. Keep going, guys.
That was good. I had to just make a little comment.
We're not listening to each
No, I
other.
know. That's why it's really fascinating.
Split audios.
So what do you
Go.
think?
I don't know what I'm.
That is actually a fascinating question. When he came to the realization he was an heir of Salazar Slytherin.
Yeah.
When he opened the chamber,
Let's
I think
ask
you're
the
right.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they know too much.
They will all know.
They're only gonna tell him, and then he'll tell us. What was the question? How to open it?
Yeah, how to open it.
Yeah.
He opens at the close. Close of what? Hermione's little book has to
Yeah.
have a rhyme.
Or she's
For
got to
the
close the
locket
book when she's
and
done
the-
reading the whole thing.
Okay, so because we're in a Horcrux discussion too here, I want you guys to firm up, or not necessarily firm up, but remind me and the listeners again, what do you believe are Horcruxes and what aren't Horcruxes? Not, you don't give me a full list of what you think aren't Horcruxes. That'd be a long list. But what do you think are the Horcruxes? How many Horcruxes
I
are
was
there?
literally just thinking that. Where's
what do you think they
the
are?
list?
It was in the last book. I don't know if I wrote it in the beginning of this book.
Wow,
So,
you're really
I
slacking.
probably did. And my phone's in the car, so I don't think it's on my phone anyway. But oh, and I circled the 7 names she had in the beginning of the book. I'm like, they're Horcruxes.
Yeah, that's right. That was so funny.
I'll just do a quick
It was
scan.
the
But
locket, the ring, the diary.
Okay, locket, the ring, the diary.
We said the Gryffindor sword
Mm-hmm.
potentially, but that's a maybe. So
yeah, that's a maybe.
All right, but
Dumbledore
don't count it
didn't
yet.
think so, did he?
Yeah, he said he didn't think so.
oh, he did.
We were speculating it was,
that's
'cause
what
we
I'm
were
getting
saying-
confused. Okay,
What if it was? Yeah, keep going.
the Hufflepuff mug, the
So
cup.
yeah, so you have the cup, the locket, the what else did you say? The diary.
Yeah.
I think you have those 3. The ring. So you have 4 right now.
Cup,
Oh, how did I
locket,
count 5?
diary, ring, journal.
No, diary. Is
Oh,
the
diary.
journal.
Cup.
To a man, it's the journal.
What's the?
So you have 4.
I think 5. We have always speculated was the Sword of Gryffindor. And then what was 6?
Wait, we don't know anything else.
Now,
No,
Dumbledore
we-
was always suspicious of something.
Oh, a Nagini.
Yeah, so Nagini.
Oh yeah, which I don't really buy,
so
but
it's for I guess
So
for Danny,
there's 5.
4.5, but 5 or 5.5 if you count the sort of a Gryffindor.
So the 2 we don't know,
and
which could be your invisibility cloak and Harry's glasses or his scar. Boom.
No, his glasses wouldn't have fit him when he was 5.
I
mean,
said
1.
scar. I
Oh,
changed it.
scar. No, it doesn't feel right to me.
Okay.
But
The diary
the
didn't feel
tiara
right, and
that was
Nagini
worn
doesn't
at
feel
the
right,
wedding
so
feels
he
more right
knows.
to me.
The tiara. Sure, that's right. That was our
Danny's
list.
on just the tiara kick over
Well,
here.
the thing is,
That's 'cause he
everything else
wants one.
feels
I know.
like the
I'll
same,
get him
you
one for
know.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So I feel like
That's actually great.
So
idea.
that is one thing we don't have an object of Ravenclaws. What would Ravenclaw's object be? We don't know. Wait, what did you guys say?
Just picture it now.
Danny wearing a tiara or a diadem?
I said that's what he wants for Christmas. I'll get it.
excellent.
Danny's gonna come to the next podcast with a diadem or a tiara on his head.
So I feel like they've got to be physical objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you.
So hold on. So you guys are missing. So you have 2, but you're speculating on a lot of things. So Danny, you're a little hesitant to say Nagini is.
Are we supposed to know a 7 right now?
Well, we don't know if there's 7. or if
Dumbledore
there's
thinks
6
there
or
are
7.
6
And then he's the 7th because he's holding.
because he's
his...
in 7
Oh
parts.
yes, we're only missing 1. Technically.
No, so again, and that's like a misconception that I needed to correct
that-
earlier, that it's not like he's split into 7 parts and like he is one of the Horcruxes. He's just tethered his soul in 7
Yeah, that's what I'm
different
saying.
ways
Like, and his body is
is in one
tethering,
Horcrux.
tethering the soul.
His body is just it.
But-
like the tethers, it's not like when he comes back, he uses one of the tethers. It's then like if he dies and he comes back, he uses another one of the tethers. Those tethers will just remain there until they magically
keep-
resurrect him from the dead.
Yeah.
So if you had 1 Horcrux, you would
But
tether
he-
yourself, and if you destroyed that Horcrux, then the person would just die. or not like die immediately, but they would come to an end unless they made another Horcrux. But those 7 tethers, they're like just binding him to Earth.
But this
so
isn't even his real body. This is like a made up one.
No, this is his real body. That's why. So like when you die, when Voldemort died, he was just like a soul, and he had nowhere to go because the Horcruxes. No, because the Horcruxes were just keeping him on Earth. They were keeping him his soul earthbound. And so when Wormtail found him, he took the soul form. I mean,
what did he look like?
He was like the rat. He went into Albania or where. So whatever his soul form was, he was like taking the form of snakes. He was like living a half-life. Unicorn blood was the one thing that he tried to resurrect himself.
Yeah,
the
but that's
Philosopher's
when
Stone
he
was another
some
thing.
kind of being.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why he like gained strength. So he gained strength, I guess, over 13 years of possessing other people's bodies. He was like a leech. So he possessed some snakes' bodies. Then he found Quirrell, because Quirrell kind of happened to pat along him. Possessed Quirrell's body.
I'm not really buying this, but okay.
And then the Philosopher's Stone was the thing that was going to get him back for good. So when that didn't work and that didn't happen, it wasn't like he used one of the Horcruxes. It was like all the Horcruxes were still existing, and they were like anchor points for his soul. And so like his soul couldn't depart this world. His soul was still bound to Earth until Wormtail resurrected him with the soup. And then when the soup resurrected him, that was his actual body too. So it's like not like I guess his first body died, and then he's like coming back in his second body, but it's not like he's using a Horcrux in order to gain a body again. It's like the Horcruxes just exist.
Dumbledore said though.
Well, I think that's because Dumbledore, it seems like, doesn't fully understand it, because Dumbledore kept saying split your soul rather than like create a tether. He used that kind of language, and that's why I feel like Dumbledore was saying splitting your soul 6 times. And we had always said that doesn't sound right. If the wizarding magical number is 7, there should be 7 Horcruxes, but Dumbledore was only ever looking for 6. So it's like kind of that weird thing where we just don't know enough.
Yeah.
But we're kind of looking for 7. Dumbledore was saying we should look for 6.
Yeah.
But
So you guys have
can't
like
think of more than 4 or 5.
You have like 5 or like 4.5 because Danny's.
I'm like, am I just
skeptical of
forgetting
the
one
snake.
that is? Yeah.
So and we have a Hufflepuff object. We
don't have a Ravenclaw
Slytherin.
object,
We don't have a Ravenclaw or a
maybe
Gryffindor
that's why
object.
we
You
were
guys
talking about
possibly think that the
Ravenclaw
sword
or
is because that's the
something.
only Gryffindor object we have. But
Yep.
then maybe there's a Ravenclaw object attached. Maybe it's both of those. Maybe that's 6 and 7. You guys have also theorized all sorts of other wild stuff about maybe not wild. I'm not going to poo-poo your theories. But you said the cloak could possibly be a Horcrux. You said
Harry Scar.
yeah, Harry Scar could be. Mm-hmm. You said the Weasley's tiara could be a Horcrux. So you guys have had theories about other Horcruxes about what they could possibly be. But we don't know for sure yet.
But I'm definitely looking for physical objects that have earthly value, muggle value, I'll even say.
It doesn't even make sense. I don't get this.
Doesn't
mean?
resonate with you, huh?
No.
The idea of Horcruxes?
I just don't like how he like survived. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then the diary is, I guess, a personal thing for Voldemort. So that's why that was his first one.
The diary is an anomaly of a Horcrux because, yeah, that's
But then
why there's a lot of confusion into
but the
this.
other thing is like he kills hundreds or thousands of people, and then he decides which one's gonna be a Horcrux.
Mhm.
That's what I don't get. Like, oh, this is a great kill. Give me a trophy. That's what he does.
Well, there's
And I'm gonna put my soul in it.
ancient magic attached to it. There's a spell. There's an incantation. Remember?
I'm just saying, when
Slughorn's
is
like,
he
"Don't-"
deciding to do that?
Because I think there's significant kills. When he found Hepzibah Smith, he turned
Who's
her,
that?
the lady who he got the locket from, and the cups of Helga
Oh.
Hufflepuff. He killed her, and he
just
probably
talked about-
made a Horcrux, but from killing her because she had these special objects. He probably did the same thing with the ring with his with his
brother.
uncle and
Oh,
his
yeah.
grandpa. I'm sure he did it there. He was probably going to make Harry
Into one.
into, or like he had an object that he was bringing to when he was going to kill Harry and make another Horcrux. with
The
that.
ugly vase from Petunia.
Right? Could you imagine?
Whoa.
Oh man, interesting.
A vase could
Another
be
one.
interesting. If they were Gryffindors, it really checks out.
But yeah, the diary is really weird. The diary is different from all the other Horcruxes because there was something else in the diary. Like it actually seemed like it contained something deeper about who Voldemort was.
But then who are the other people? Like, what's the locket from?
Slytherin.
No,
Locket's a Slytherin heirloom.
no. Who'd he kill?
Oh,
We don't have a lot of information, though.
We don't know who each of his kills were. Like we don't have the confirmation of his
find
kills
out?
for each Horcrux. There's lots of theories on that online.
And we do know a bunch of people he's killed, even ones he's killed personally.
I'm just
that it's
saying
mentioned.
When it became a Horcrux.
Yeah, we don't know when
No, I
anything
know.
became
That's what I'm
a
saying.
Horcrux,
He's
though.
killed so many people. So it's like,
Yeah.
which one is he deciding as a trophy to go in a thing?
But it feels like to him, he loves the lore, the legend of it. Like he wants this to live on forever as like wizard legend.
So like he would make Harry Potter into whatever Horcrux was before.
Maybe he doesn't even have his final Horcrux because he's waiting to make Harry the Horcrux, or like the kill that he uses for the Horcrux. And he's always said, like, let me be the one to kill Harry. So I thought he would have done that with Dumbledore, but maybe that just wasn't possible. Or maybe he only wants one more Horcrux and he's waiting for it to be Harry because Harry's the one that eluded him the first time. So we just don't have a lot of information.
Yeah, and there are some people that are talking to me in chat too, and they're saying it's not necessarily fair to say the diary is different. All the objects are slightly different. They all have weird magical power attached to them. Like even the locket, like you can't open this thing. So there's something significant about this thing. Like Voldemort put extra curses on it. Same thing with the diary. The diary just seems to contain almost more of like the memories. And so when he was in the Chamber of Secrets and he was transferring essentially the diary to Ginny and he was going to take form again, like that almost seems like a Horcrux is being used up in order to create another person, which is why for a while you think that like the Horcruxes are like the respawn points, and when he respawns in that point he uses that Horcrux up, but it's not like that. It's more like these just keep him bound to Earth. Like when you die your soul departs the Earth, but these are like they're keeping his soul kept here,
And they can be reused too.
So
Like, as
Voldemort,
long as
if they
they're
don't destroy these Horcruxes, Voldemort might not come back for thousands of years, but his soul will be tethered to Earth. Maybe he'll just be in snakes and rats for 1,000 years. But a little confusing.
Yeah.
A little.
Let's go on to the next chapter, which is The Bribe, chapter 11. Can you give me a summary of chapter 11?
Again, tell me if you need to add anything. Someone enters into 12 Grimmauld Place where the trio is staying, but it turns out to be Lupin. He fills them in on how Voldemort has taken over the Ministry in Hogwarts. Tonks is pregnant, and Harry denies permission for Lupin to join them on their quests. I feel like there was more after that.
No, I feel like that was it.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
I didn't write one, but
At the end,
sounded good.
at the end they just find
You talked about how Harry's
Mundungus.
being.
Hmm?
You mentioned about Harry being wanted in it for killing Dumbledore. The Ministry is putting out like rumors.
The Daily
Not
Prophet
sad.
has fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad journalism. Okay, so this one is kind of opens up. Ron's using the Deluminator, and Hermione goes, "Will you stop it?" She cried in the third evening of Kreacher's absence, as all light was sucked from the drawing room yet again. Sorry, said Ron, clicking the Deluminator and restoring the lights. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, can't you find something useful to occupy yourself? What? Like reading kids' stories? Dumbledore left me this book, Ron. And he left me the Deluminator. Maybe I'm supposed to use it. Why did Dumbledore leave them these objects? Again, we hit that question all the time, but is there anything significant to these objects?
Big
Yes.
time.
But no.
We just don't know what it is yet. But I'm surprised Hermione hasn't read this book like 5 times through already. She's in the library all the time. She's a fast reader.
Probably has.
You think she has?
I don't know if it doesn't say she's reading it for the first time here. She
Yeah, I guess
probably
you're
read
But
it
right.
I
a
feel
few
like she
times.
needs Ron to like decipher
Some
it.
kind of combo of these things?
Yeah, because it's like there's more meaning to it maybe than
Yeah.
you can read off the page. Because if they're like fairy tales or whatever from the wizarding world.
I feel like they should really be seeking the Sword of Gryffindor right now. Now they've got their Horcrux thing going on. They can hopefully get a little trail going. But
They can't go anywhere.
well, yeah, true. They can't really leave. But I still feel like they should be trying to come up with plans and getting the fourth object that Dumbledore wanted them to have. Seems like a pretty good place to start. They don't have a lot of leads right now. And maybe all four need to come together to work together somehow to, I don't know, unlock a riddle
Open
somehow.
up the clothes. Like, where is that? Is that like a fireplace? For them to use flu power, flu network. But they can't use that anymore, can they? No.
Yeah, it's monitored.
Not safe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not safe for them to use that. So yeah, just keep that in the back burners. Keep thinking, what the heck these on? Like, why was it a book? I mean, Hermione. This book was in the original runes too, so like Hermione is probably having to translate this book as well. So
Slower. Yeah.
so it's a little bit slower for her reading, I'm sure. But yeah, it's interesting why they have these objects.
I feel like Hermione's book has more to it than the others because it's so big. And as we're seeing here, a book can be packed with a lot. So I feel like she should be reading it out loud to everybody and they should be dissecting every like page. There's got to be something hidden in those pages, you know?
Yeah. Lupin, when he comes, he mentions he has to like apparate onto the very top stair to not get the Death Eaters to see him. So when we're talking about the Fidelius charm, how does it actually work? Maybe I should be answering that question, but
Well, I'm wondering if Hermione really knows how it works.
what do you mean?
Well, because she said, do you reckon Snape's been here after us? Otherwise, he'd have been able to tell that lot how to get in, wouldn't he? So it sounds like Hermione thinks Snape has already been here and been hit by that Moody's curse or something. I don't know. It just feels a little confusing because it seems to be Hermione is saying that Snape could tell somebody else about the details of the house and then they'd be able to get in. And I didn't think he could. I thought they had to hear it directly from the secret keeper, Dumbledore. So otherwise, it could spread pretty quickly. And if they don't trust Mundungus, he could have told everyone by now. You know, someone pays him enough money, he would have told them probably.
I thought it's like you just couldn't get in, or it's not that.
Maybe. But if it's a secret, it might be more than just that. Like, you literally might not be able to, like, communicate anything about it. Like, it might be, like, a mental block or, like, some deeper form of magic where you can't even say, there's a thing right next to number 11 Grimmauld Place.
I'm just saying,
you
like,
know?
I don't get what they see. Is it empty, or, like, the houses are, like, together and, like, it doesn't exist?
I think it's like it doesn't exist. But what other people...
Like, it's not an empty lot.
But yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so, because it sounds like the house is, like, slid apart.
Well, that was the
like,
movies.
new...
the movies kind of
Really?
brought us into that.
Maybe that's what it was at Universal Studios too.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like because it feels like this is like squeezed between other things.
Yeah.
It's like part of other houses.
Right.
So I don't know.
Makes you think about all these empty lots that have been empty for like years and years around us. You're like, I wonder if there's a Fidelius charm on that lot over there.
You think that?
I think I was literally about to say that. Okay, you guys don't think that, but sometimes when I'm passing an empty lot that's been empty for a long
Sometimes.
time, I'm like, I wonder who's shacking up there, who's hiding out right there.
Just hop on the first step. It'll let you in.
There you go.
Hop right in.
And then again, Lupin is aghast at how he describes that the Death Eaters found him. Again, because Lupin probably knows Harry's birthday.
Yeah.
So he says, so you came straight here after the wedding? No, said Harry, only after we ran into a couple of Death Eaters in a cafe on Tottenham Court Road. Lupin slopped most of his butterbeer down his front. What? They explained what had happened. When they had finished, Lupin looked aghast. But how did they find you so quickly? It's impossible to track anyone who apparates unless you grab hold of them as they disappear. So again, maybe Danny's theory is right, but how did they actually find them? How did the Death Eaters find Harry, Ron, and Hermione?
Do they have control of the tracker though? And since if they had control in the Ministry of Magic, they just didn't turn it off. Like,
it sounds like the way other people seem to view it is that it wasn't something as simple as like it being on or off. It was like a bigger, more powerful device that just did not work once you turn 17. Like, it didn't feel like something that they could just turn on and be like, now we can track everyone, because that'd be pretty dangerous too. It feels like it's very limited in its power. Like when you're 17, it no longer works. But I don't know. It is a little confusing.
We just
don't know.
Tracking him. It's not like it stopped tracking.
Well, that's what it feels like to me, because otherwise, how?
Yeah, but Voldemort knows where he is, doesn't he? If he like goes into that weird scar connection.
I don't know. I don't know that he would. You think so?
I don't know.
I didn't think of it that way, but it does feel like they knew he was at the burrow, because it feels like they were kind of waiting for this whole thing.
It's just weird because if Harry can see Voldemort's like whereabouts sometimes, why can't it be reversed?
Maybe it
That's
could.
a good question.
I don't know. But I'm hoping when you're in a place that is the Secret Keeper place with the Fidelius charm, you're kind of immune to that kind of stuff.
Or like, so Voldemort might be able to see where they're at right now at this moment, but he still wouldn't be able to get in because it's protected by the Fidelius charm.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe that's why the guards are outside by the door.
And that would be the same for the burrow.
Yeah.
And that would have been the same for Dursley's.
Yeah.
So every time he would know where he is, but he just can't get to him.
Mm-hmm. But Dumbledore did say at the end of book 5 that Voldemort seems to have closed that closed that opening. And in book 6 you didn't really see the opening or it get
but
opened
you didn't
again.
See it either way.
Yeah,
and now we're seeing it Harry's way.
Yeah, now Harry is getting little visions whenever Voldemort is experiencing extreme emotions.
I'm sure in 6 he was too.
A little bit. He had extreme emotion. Yeah, because when he had extreme emotions, like during the Azkaban prison break, Harry got a little glimpse into like his scar started hurting and really, really hurt. So he was getting things there, but he's not necessarily getting like visions. His scar is just hurting. So it seems like Voldemort still has kind of closed the connection, but like there's like a.
I still don't get, like, is he supposed to close the occlumency? Would that help with his scar pain, like closing him out?
Probably.
Because I'm like, he needs to practice that, because if he
I know these headaches.
face to face with him, his scar, he's going to be on the ground with his scar killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't that happen? That happened
he's fought him before.
No, I know, and every time he ends up like being saved by someone else because it doesn't.
Well, kind of, but in the graveyard, I feel like he did a pretty good job.
His scar was killing him though every time.
Yeah, true. The scar definitely was burning and causing pain.
Anyway,
it's just a weird one. It's impossible to track anyone who apparates unless you grab a hold of them as they disappear.
Yeah, like side-along apparition.
I still don't understand why RAB couldn't have held on to.
I know that one's a little
Kreacher.
annoying, right?
That's not real. She messed up there. I think.
So is RAB still alive somewhere? No,
I mean, we still don't fully. We don't know if Kreacher's story is fully trustworthy. There's still a lot of gray area.
Right,
or
if
there is a possible chance. Serious.
No, I am taking your side. I'm saying literally your theory could be right because we don't have to trust Kreacher. So like. He could still be alive. They could have done side-by-side apparition. The whole thing could be a fabrication. It could be some totally different thing. We just don't know.
Or Kreacher could be completely telling the truth, and there's still a chance that Regulus could have gotten out.
Yeah.
But if there's not, there's a chance that he was a dead body at the bottom of that lake when Harry and Dumbledore went in, which is pretty creepy.
Yeah.
There is not just a chance. It's likely if he didn't get out that he's a dead body. Probably not an Inferi, but probably a dead body.
I wonder
Is
if,
that all the siblings? R.A.B. and Sirius Black?
it's all
That
we've
is a
heard of.
scary thought.
Okay, I don't know what I touched.
Are you talking about all the Inferi underneath the lake?
I'm just wondering because all of them are dying, trying to like turn on the Dark Lord.
So Dumbledore
And
probably
then-
went on some kind of, or Voldemort probably went on some kind of killing spree and just put them all these dead bodies, and maybe he exhumed bodies from graves and used that. But he's using some. I mean, exhuming bodies is pretty dark as well.
Well, I'm just thinking like it's sad that the Blacks like stop existing.
Yeah, for real. Their line is pretty much kind of over.
What
Wow,
Bellatrix
yeah.
is the only one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
She's
they're
a
not-
Lestrange
they're not
now.
even related.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
is related, and so
Oh,
is
she is.
Malfoy, Mrs.
Yeah,
Malfoy.
Narcissa.
So they're both maiden name Black.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cousins, and I don't know if we know how they're related,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it did say cousins, I think.
Actually, there are still like even there are still a few. The Tonkses are related to the Black family in some way, so that family tree is still going. So it wouldn't necessarily end with Sirius and Regulus dying. Just like I guess the direct line maybe.
But Harry could find out because it's all over a wall in
I
this
know,
place.
yeah. Exactly.
Go up and read it. Read it good. Could Rita have been making skin to skin contact with one of these people as a beetle? Side by side apparition.
I was thinking that before. I was like, was there a bug? Because I thought of me being a fly,
Yeah.
just attaching to
One of
them.
the great moments of the podcast.
Because that would.
Why?
And how could you apparate while in animal form? Because that'd be a really tiny, boop, you know? And then maybe she could apparate out of there without anyone noticing. But if the secret keeper didn't tell you about something, could you still walk into the house with someone who knew? Like if Rita was a beetle in someone's pocket and they walk in, would she get like stopped at the door, just ripped out of the pocket, or would she actually be able to go in? Like that's the part that's weird to me. So I don't know.
Can't wait till we see how the movie portrays it
Yeah. And
in
this
another
is,
year.
Yeah. This is the part
Yeah.
where Danny's really getting to like Nerdville. And this is where like some of the Harry Potter discussion after gets really fun
Great.
because
She's
she hasn't
being
come up with
brainwashed.
answers. Yeah, she hasn't come up with answers for this stuff. But there's like people talk about them being plot holes, but that's what boring fans do. They say these are plot holes. Where good fans, like there's a lot of really good fans out there, and they say that there's no such thing as plot holes. There's just unfinished writing. Like so like us talking about the idea of Animagus getting in, like maybe there's like been a whole fan theory out there about that, and fans have I guarantee you fans have already discussed that and tried to figure out ways around that, or tried to figure out like explanations onto that. So
Yeah, for sure.
JK might have even mentioned some stuff herself, because when she was getting interviewed and she was like answering fan questions, she would a lot of times just like speak outside of the actual writings and say like, oh no, it works this way. So like some things have become canon from just things that she said. But now the fans really have taken the series, and like the fans are kind of the canon of the series.
Does she still like chime in every once in a while?
Every once in a while, but
Like
it's becoming less and
recently,
less.
yeah.
I don't know, but
Is she
I'm not sure
over it?
recently. Huh?
Is she over
She
it?
might be over it. She like made her money and she's like, I'm gonna move on.
Harry Potter.
But maybe with the new show,
Yeah,
she
is gonna have
should be
involvement in the
dropping
new
some more.
show. Yeah, people don't think she's gonna write anything else on Harry Potter, which is a bummer.
Is she gonna help with the series?
Probably, yeah. I think she's gonna be like an executive producer or something.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What do you guys think of two quick things of Scrimgeour dying and not giving up Harry, and then
I respect that.
what do you think of the Muggle-born Registration Committee,
Yeah, that sucks.
the new Ministry Order?
That's
It's
gonna
dark.
be rough.
That's
Yeah.
real dark.
That's like the Holocaust.
Yeah,
No
seriously, yeah.
way.
Yep.
They're rounding up these people. They need to be like checked, and they need to like prove their magical ancestry. There's their cute moment with Ron there. I know, said Lupin. Nevertheless, unless you can prove that you have at least one close wizarding relative, you are now deemed to have obtained your magical power illegally and must suffer the punishment. Ron glanced at Hermione, then said, what if purebloods and half-bloods swear a Muggleborn's part of their family? I'll tell everyone Hermione's my cousin. Which is kind of cute, Ron.
That is cute.
But it is interesting. Like, there's a few little like interesting tidbits that Lupin gives in this chapter, and I like the idea that Scrimgeour died not giving Harry up. So they kind of were on the same page, but Scrimgeour still was a fighter, but they just didn't see eye to eye on certain things. And then he's giving the Smuggleborn Registration Committee all the information here.
What I find crazy is like, why wouldn't he give him the Gryffindor sword? Like,
Why
why
would
wouldn't
he?
Scrimgeour give Harry the
Why wouldn't he?
Gryffindor's? What?
Interesting, yeah.
Because obviously Harry's like the only ticket out. Give them what they need.
It's a good point. He didn't. It sounds like he didn't understand how close the end was.
Well, he
Yeah.
probably did now.
Yeah. He
But-
maybe realized when it was too late.
Maybe he can give it to him. Maybe at the close he gets the sword.
Oh, like at the close. The close of what? I am wondering if he did anything else to help the cause in those last minutes then, if he was realizing what was going on. I'm curious if there was anything else he could have done.
With keep in mind, and like no one knows what Harry's doing. So like the very fact that he's getting a sword would be like, why would I give him this thing that's not really his to possess? He's thinking it more in the legal standing of things, not really in like the terms of like this will help them hunt Horcruxes, because no one knows that.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't tell Lupin this. Lupin wants to know, and then Danny yells out when we were doing the live read, "Don't tell him," which I want to know why you said that. Why would it be a good idea for Harry to not tell Lupin about the Horcruxes?
It just feels like Lupin's not in his right mind.
Okay.
I speculated briefly that he might not even be himself. Their little double check of Harry, the first time we met, whatever. It just didn't seem that good. Knowing he's married to Tonks, I mean, let's face it, everything that's happened, it would not be that hard for them to have an inside man who gives the scoop on Tonks and Lupin. Their love life isn't exactly top secret. So
What about the Patronus?
even that, I mean, Harry's mentioned that a few times. He had the whole Wizengamot, and he was saying a full corporeal Patronus and whatever. I'm sure word got around. It's like, did you see what Harry can do? Yeah, Lupin actually trained him one-on-one. That was the whole thing. That werewolf? No way. So I just feel like that to me was not that impressive. I feel like they should have dug deeper to find out if it was really him. But all that aside, I do think 65% chance it was actually him. But I still don't think he was in the right mind to be hearing secrets, because he just feels like he's not thinking that clearly. And he's just like kind of depressed or like whatever. It just feels like this isn't the Lupin that I trusted in previous books. This is like a different, something about marriage, kids on the way. I don't know. But he's like, he's messed up. And
Yeah,
so I'm
he's
just saying,
struggling.
but
That
like
what
regardless of
happens when
Lupin,
you get
let me even
married.
take it away from Lupin. Harry shouldn't tell anybody because Dumbledore didn't. If Dumbledore wanted
Yeah.
Lupin to know, he would have told him.
So you are still just full on trusting Dumbledore, even with all the stuff that like has come out. You are much more on Dumbledore's sides of trusting him. You don't think there's
Yeah, with a lot of things, but I
Yeah.
do think he's capable of evil, especially
the
to
only
protect his
thing-
family.
That I think is true though is like with all the Death Eaters now, like doing the whatever those things are to get information, the
Yeah.
Imperious Curse or the Unforgivable, whatever.
Yep.
There would be more people that would know more about this, and then it's game over.
True. Yeah. And if you're willing to kill and torture people to get information, you can really get a lot of information. And the whole ministry's fallen. You know, like with all these
Yeah.
people, I feel like information is not hard to get. And if someone is able to impersonate Lupin or use the Imperious or whatever it is, then they clearly got close enough to him that they could mess with his mind. Oh, and
Why
also
do you
with
think-
Snape. Snape could just read their minds and learn any of the secrets. Truth-telling serum, and then look in their minds to find out any kind of dark secret that
Yeah, that's
they
what
could
I'm
tell
saying.
Harry. So this could be
But
Snape
then
and
why did
Polyjuice for all we
Dumbledore
know.
allow Hermione and Ron to be in on it, and then gave them stuff?
The power of friendship. I'm not totally sure. It does feel like a a ragtag little bunch for taking on the Dark Lord.
Yeah. I do love though that Jenn nailed the pregnancy.
Yeah, you
When
did.
I think Danny was coming up with some
So
elaborate
obvious.
theory about why Tonks is glowing or something like that.
Yeah, what
And
was
then all of a
your
sudden Jen's
theory?
like,
I don't remember.
she's pregnant, and Danny's like, I like that theory a lot more than mine.
That is a great theory.
Now I need to re-listen to that one
I
and
know.
see what you said.
It was a great
You
moment.
nailed it.
It's very obvious for women to notice.
So this is, and we talked about this in the beginning of the podcast with the conundrum that they have. That so they're gonna have a baby. Everyone's Hermione and Ron are excited, and then Lupin goes, "You don't understand," said Lupin at last. "Explain then," said Harry. Lupin swallowed. I made a grave mistake in marrying Tonks. I did it against my better judgment, and I have regretted it very much ever since. I see, said Harry. So you're just going to dump her and the kid and run off with us? Lupin sprang to his feet. His chair toppled over backwards, and he glared at them so fiercely that Harry saw, for the first time ever, the shadow of the wolf upon his human face. Don't you understand what I've done to my wife and my unborn child? I should never have married her. I've made her an outcast. So what do you think of their whole relationship? You're shaking your head?
Who is this Lupin guy? He never talked like that.
I think he did.
Oh,
I just think he was so solo. I think this was Lupin's childhood growing up.
And it's all getting.
It's finally
brought to the
coming back
surface.
because Lupin has kept other people at bay. Like he's had his friends. It even took a while for like his friends probably to break in.
Yeah.
But he was like a solo, isolated person. Then his two best friends died. His other friend betrayed him. So up from the school until literally this moment, he really hasn't had friends. So
no
he's
one else has
isolated.
been at risk
And
because
now,
of his status.
And now even his friends, they were putting themselves at risk, but they were like stupid little kids. So like
Yeah,
they just,
right.
they don't think about that. But now he's like having this responsibility heaped on his shoulders, mixed with these emotions of solitude, and he doesn't think he deserves someone. And he's like going through all this like processing of his trauma right now. And I feel like this was Lupin all the time, but this is just like, it's like the pressure. It's like the crucible is like really getting to him.
It's getting to him so much.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
All I keep thinking is this is not gonna be funny for anyone, but Lupin said that his friends did this to like keep him in line and keep him company, and I just kept thinking of Wormtail. Imagine he was the only friend to keep him in check. I'm like, wasn't the stag James part of the one that kept him in check?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That makes a little more sense. But even that, wolves hunt elk, you know?
Yeah,
but I was
seriously,
like,
yeah.
what
So
would
it's like-
freaking Wormy do?
Yeah. Just a little rat. Keeping
Well,
it in
his
line.
job was to
So
run.
while you guys are talking,
Yeah, yeah.
that's me picturing it.
his job was really to run and to press the knob on the weeping willow
That's fair.
so they can go through. That was like really his only
That's
job.
his only job. No wonder he
Yeah, that
changed
is a little
sides.
ridiculous.
Oh man.
But Lupin is such a fascinating character here.
Yeah, I do feel bad for him, and I like the shadow of the wolf on his human face. Love that writing because that makes more sense in what I would naturally picture a werewolf. Like if someone just was telling a fantasy story, I would picture that the human version kind of still has some of those tendencies, but it's still just sad to see because
He obviously had friends though. Tonks was his friend because they had a friendship for her to fall in love with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
he just didn't realize the impact of everything, or there's more going on that we don't realize.
But I think you can keep a friend at bay a little bit more, like because Lupin thinks he's a danger to other people and himself, so he can keep sometimes friends a little bit more
Yeah.
at bay than a lover. Than when Tonks is like when he's married to Tonks, and he has a kid on the way. They got married and they have a kid in the span of like a month.
5 seconds. Yeah.
So it's a intense situation right here. Poor
Lupin drew his wand so fast that Harry had barely reached for his own. Just feels crazy. Whipping wands out like this.
Yeah.
That's just, it's cool too. It's like a
Yeah.
quick draw, just boom, nails it, and Harry gets destroyed. But it's just kind of like this weird moment of like, I don't know. I viewed Lupin as having such control over his temper that this felt crazy to me.
Do we know about Lupin's parents?
I don't think so.
Not
Because
much.
the kid on the way is what's
That's what's
igniting
triggering
this.
all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, because he's freaking out about it. I was just wondering if we knew about his parents,
I don't think so.
what his relationship with his father was like, or whatever. But I mean, obviously, the werewolf thing has something to do with it. That he doesn't want to put that on his kid.
Yeah.
We
He
know
just,
Lupin.
I feel like he needs a perspective shift.
Yeah.
Where it's like his worries and his everything that he went through. Like maybe he felt like his parents weren't there to help him when he was going
Yeah.
through this because he was young.
Yeah.
Right? So like he only had his friends. So I don't know.
That's a great point. His whole
There's something
backstory is
there.
interesting.
Like,
Yeah,
I
there
want-
is something there.
I want him to like shift the perspective that like just being there for the kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is going to make a difference. Kind of like what Harry said.
Yeah.
Like you not being there for this,
Yep.
half breed, whatever. And I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even just werewolf times, at least they'll be together. You know, just a father and son hunt in the woods or something. Like, they're,
Always have the positive spin on it.
it's good father son time, you know?
hunting time. They're rather than hunting with guns, they're literally hunting with mouths.
Yep.
Yeah, his whole backstory is really interesting. When you guys are actually finished with the whole series, you can listen to one of the tamale talks that I just did, and it was so good because I just talked to one of our hot tamales, Lana, and she talks about how Lupin's one of her favorites, and it was so interesting to talk to her about why she thinks it. She has like this whole understanding of like the backstory for things, and it was so good. I
That's
couldn't
cool.
get it off my mind. It was so good. But how did Harry handle this whole situation? Was he good? Or was he
I feel like Lupin needed that push.
I
Yeah,
think
right?
He needed, yeah.
I was kind of surprised by Harry's like authority.
Hmm.
I mean, he was triggered
Yeah.
for sure because it's like, how dare you? You have the opportunity to be there for your kid and you're choosing not to. When Harry, that opportunity was taken away from him not to have parents. Like he never, like his parents didn't have a choice. So that triggered him.
I was just disappointed that Harry wasn't listening to Hermione. I think Hermione was my gauge for what is reasonable. And she tried to stop him multiple times and he kind of ignored it. And she's like, Harry, no. And he just like keeps pushing through. So I think that was the only thing where I thought, yikes, Harry, just like listen to the people that are a little more level-headed than you. Don't get caught up in the moment and actually like take a step back. Maybe say all those same words, but just say them less aggressive maybe, or I don't know. But maybe Lupin needed to hear it.
I was going to say, would he have reacted?
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But I do want him to listen to the people around him, but we love that he doesn't too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
This
Yeah,
is
you
why
might
love
yeah,
that he
Joe
doesn't.
just writes great characters because like Lupin, he's this guy of stalwart strength. You're like, this guy is the coolest. He's probably next in line for the order, for like controlling the order. And then all of a sudden he comes in this emotional wreck over something that's like crushing him right now. And you're like, you have the ability to understand his backstory and where he came from more. It's like one of those things that people say, like, don't be so hard on your parents. It's their first time living life too. It's like you have these characters in your mind who up until this point, and for a lot of them, like all these teachers are like perfect people. They're like, oh, these guys are going to be the next tutors for Harry. And then Harry is realizing that Dumbledore isn't everything that he's cracked up to be. Lupin, he has this moment of weakness here. Like Moody wasn't quick enough to fight off Voldemort. Like he's learning all these
you're right.
like small little things about these characters that are making them so much more complex and to me interesting. They're not just like these great, adults that are perfect at everything. It's like Harry's really coming to adulthood when he realizes adults aren't perfect and they make a lot of mistakes and they have moments of weakness. And it's such a good written series, guys. I love it.
Really?
Sure is.
Never would have known that.
I really love this series. I should start a podcast on this one.
So cute.
One more quick question, and then one line I'll read. But what do you think about Ariana Dumbledore? What's the substance there? And is it really that important to the story?
What did you ask?
Ariana Dumbledore.
That name does not fit. All I keep thinking is Ariana Grande.
I know. I was like,
That's her middle name, Ariana Grande Dumbledore.
What was the question? I know you said. I just
Sorry.
No, it's like I didn't know who.
Yeah,
you
so
were talking
there's an
about
excerpt of the
twice.
book that's in this, and in one of the lines in the book, Rita mentions that Bathilda saw Ariana and Kendra walking Ariana around like their yard, their like fenced-in yard or something like that at night, and was like holding Ariana up.
And what do I think about that?
Yeah, or what is the deal with Ariana? Why is Ariana such an intrigue point at this moment? For
She
Rita,
seems like sick, but we don't know why or how.
Huh.
and like there's a lot of things that are mentioned sometimes in the books, and you don't know how, if this is just like something that like Rita is writing, or if this is like something of really like significant importance.
Why wouldn't Dumbledore say anything about this? So weird. Well, he's ashamed of it or something, hiding it or guilty.
This feels like part of a ritual.
It feels like part of a ritual for what?
Well, it
Killing
just
someone?
no, like the way leading her out into the garden, walked her around the lawn once, keeping a firm grip on her, then back inside. It just feels weird, like going outside, doing a lap, one little lap around the garden, and coming back in.
What if she's part werewolf?
And by
too?
moonlight. Yeah. I mean, when it says she's picking these by moonlight, doesn't mean it's a full moon, but it could be close. So there could be something with werewolves for sure. But is that enough reason to keep someone inside like almost all
She's a
the
vampire.
time? Honestly, also could be totally valid. We don't know enough about how that
we
works.
haven't heard about vampires, have we?
No, we have. We know vampires exist.
Yeah.
When?
this-
Where have I been?
Well, we know Lockhart wrote a book.
Voyages of the Vampires. Come on. All right, Danny, nice work.
So, assuming that book
throwbacks
wouldn't have
today.
sold well if it was such a lie that they don't even exist. But we don't know the extent. But there were also vampires at the party.
Yeah.
The party that Slughorn threw that Harry went to. So they're real.
So she's a vampire.
It's a pretty good theory. It's my favorite yet.
Did his mom?
I'm also going
did
to say, I don't know if I read
Dumbledore's
this book.
mom?
I literally don't remember anything.
You think
That was a small
Kendra
little
might be
tidbit.
too?
Just FYI for everyone.
Now,
No,
is she
no,
trying?
no. I'm
what?
saying that Dumbledore. It's a different dad.
Ooh.
Kendra is not what Dumbledore.
Is not a
Albus
full brother?
Dumbledore's dad. It's not full.
Oh, you're
Half
saying
sibling.
half sister.
Yeah.
That could work. So Percival is Dumbledore's dad, potentially.
I don't know names. Sure.
Brian is a stepdad.
Oh, that's what.
Who's Brian?
Muggle
where all
name.
It's one of Dumbledore's other middle names. Dumbledore,
confused.
Percival,
These are
Wolfric,
We get
Brian.
3 dads.
I need like a
gonna
freaking
say he's got
chart,
a lot of
like a
dads.
name chart. I need a name chart. I can't keep track.
But yeah, just because nobody now alive remembers Ariana ever demonstrating even the slightest sign of magical ability.
Because she was half creature, half human, and not a witch.
And people think that Kendra made the decision to hide her daughter's existence rather than suffer the shame of admitting that she had produced a squib. Again, we have high views of Dumbledore. And it's hard to think of Dumbledore being ashamed of something like that because he wouldn't
Yeah, but
be.
what if his parents were?
But that's what's so weird. I have just assumed he came from a home that would also not frown
Yeah.
on that.
But he's the opposite, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But it's just hard to picture, you know?
But maybe that's why he's so great now, because he did go through something that he was ashamed of. Maybe he was never able to deal with it, but then like moved forward into greatness because of that.
That's why you miss it. Kristen's
Oh,
psychological takes are so fascinating. They're so good. They're so on
I'm
point.
half asleep, too,
Even if
so
you're half
good.
asleep, they're still great.
It's true. That's what we're missing.
I know.
We said it. If you listen to the podcast.
I didn't.
I don't listen to them either.
So yeah, we don't know if she might be a squib, she might be a vampire, she might be a werewolf. One thing that I was thinking when I was even reading this whole thing, when she's accused of being a squib, I thought, and I posed this question on our Reddit because I just thought it was a fascinating one. And I'm not going to ask you yet because you don't know the full series, but I said if you could add one thing onto JK's writing, like one little tidbit onto Harry Potter, what would you add? Because I think the one thing that I would add after I read that is that the Weasleys had a squib son. I think that'd make it so compelling. If like one of the Weasleys, maybe like another brother, like one of the middle brothers, was just non-magical. And like I would have loved to see how they treated him, how it would have like what the stigma is surrounding that if he like integrated in Wizarding World. They said they have an accountant as a cousin and he just is integrated into Wizarding World. I think they said that in like one of the first or second books.
Wow.
But I would have loved one of the Weasley brothers to have been a squib. I think it would have made it so interesting to see how they interacted and how it actually plays out in the real world.
Yeah, you're right.
But
that would
that's
be
just a
so
side note.
fascinating just because I feel like we got some of the wonder of Harry discovering the Wizarding World. So to be able to kind of see some of that again, some of that like wonder, even if it's, you know, a squib who gets to visit Hogwarts now because he's old enough and he still can't like do anything, but he can see it. And so, yeah, that would be a really unique way to make things more complex.
Here's one of the last lines in the chapter, and we'll finish on this before we ask our final ones. I was selling in Diagon Alley, and she come up to me and asks if I've got a license for trading in magical artifacts. Bleeding Snoop, she was gonna find me, but she took a fancy to the locket and told me she'd take it and let me off that time. And to think myself lucky. Who was this woman? Harry asked. I don't know, some ministry hag. Mundungus considered for a moment, brow wrinkled. Little woman, bow on top of her head. He frowned, then added, look like a toad. Here he dropped his wand. It hit Mundungus on the nose and shot red sparks into his eyebrows, which ignited.
She's back.
She's back. It's such a
This is so weird.
terrible end to the chapter right here. Oh my gosh. I hate this so much.
But the
Well.
thing is, did
Danny's
Danny.
excited.
Yay! Umbridge is back.
Aunt is back.
And Umbridge. Yeah.
Torturer's back.
And
maybe
Dolores.
she changed after her torture.
Could she get worse? Maybe that's the question. Can she get actually worse than she is?
I hope those half-breeds taught her a lesson.
The centaurs. Yeah,
And
wow.
I
She's
was afraid to say it because I'm always say the other word.
I feel like half-breeds might be a little derogatory, maybe, but
Well, I was gonna say a centaurian. So.
I thought so.
oh, yeah, no, that's good. You should say that.
No.
Okay, so let's go over the final ones, unless Danny has anything else in the chapter that he wants to talk about.
Well, I'm just still wondering if we can trust Mundungus, you know?
Yeah.
Because he did struggle. It took, if we can believe Kreacher, took Kreacher many days to get him here. So, like, the whole thing just feels like...
Not real. It
I
feels
don't
more
know.
real.
No, I'm trusting the straight read here, but it just feels weird and like,
Are you?
do we believe the whole story? I'm entertaining that as like a 15, 20% chance. But yeah, wow. No, I don't have anything else from the chapter.
All right, so let's go over your favorite moment, your favorite character, and the Hot Tamale Award.
What are we doing first?
Seeing that taunting little picture in the next
Favorite moment?
chapter. And I can't look at it. I can't look at it.
You ready to look?
No, I didn't. I just saw it was there.
I'm gonna look for you.
No, don't do it.
I love this so much.
No,
Favorite
no.
moment.
was
When
it?
Harry gives the locket to Kreacher.
That is a good moment.
That's not fair. Oh, I saw the title name. Woo!
Yeah. When Harry gives the locket,
That's
I
a good
think
moment.
that was the best. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that was
That was a
like
good
in that
moment.
realm.
There's one, but
have a
that's way
moment.
better than that, guys.
Ooh, nice.
When Harry's reading the letter from his mom.
Oh yeah,
that
one
did
was
not
good.
stick out to
You're
me at
right.
all.
That was
Really?
that was in chapter 10 for
It
me.
stuck out, but not like.
Well, we're sentimental people over here.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
This is the sentimental couch. Got called out.
The sentimental couch.
Sorry, that was laced in sarcasm. But I did love that moment. But then also when Hermione disarmed Mundungus and then Ron tackled him, I felt like that was like they needed to be with Harry.
Yeah.
That was like a confirmation
Yeah.
of them being there. I don't know. I love that moment.
Yeah.
It was just like team effort to get him to
Yeah,
stay.
that's
The
good.
good old crew.
The crew.
together.
They all need each other.
They do.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, my favorite is clearly the when Harry gets the letter from his mother. I think that's one of the most beautiful moments in the series. I love that so much.
Yep.
That he really doesn't have anything of her. Like if you really think about it, he has almost nothing of her at all. And then he
Yeah.
sees this letter that she's written. And
Like,
it's like
with her own handwriting. They
Yeah.
have the same
And
G's.
talking about him.
oh my gosh.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And we don't
that
have the second
is-
page.
All
which
right,
sucks,
you win.
but-
That's better.
Fair.
All right, who's your favorite character? House Cup.
Hermione?
Why is that?
Because she always talks sense into these boys.
That's fair.
And-
She
I'm
does.
surprised you didn't pick Ginny.
Yes.
Ginny? I know. That's the hot tamale.
Phantom
though.
Ginny.
Yeah, Phantom Ginny.
Yeah. And with the creature, like the whole
Yeah,
house elf rights and respect.
yeah,
and
yeah. She's great.
all that stuff. What's yours?
I'm gonna give Harry hot tamale
No, we're not on hot tamale. We're on
Favorite
favorite,
character.
Yeah, favorite character.
so that I can give Kreacher my favorite character.
Oh, we're swapped.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tentatively because he still might be lying and ready to betray them all. But I just like the way he had such a big impact on even getting the locket to begin with. He is being tortured while Voldemort literally laughs and goes through all of that. And then you kind of see why he became the way he was. And then I like that he was willing to go against everything that he believed in his core, even about people like Hermione. And now he's trying to work through that. So I'm like, I feel like we're seeing house elf growth a little bit, which I did not expect. So
House elf.
yeah, from Kreacher.
Yeah,
Of all creatures.
I am going to say Kreacher is my favorite character here too. The switch that you have between hating him and then being
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah. And he's just like pleasant too. He's like, you see his disposition change when Harry starts treating him kindly. And it's like the power of kindness is a powerful thing. No,
That was good.
that was terrible.
I'm gonna give it to Harry, my favorite character. I felt like he kind of stepped into leadership in these chapters, in a way. You know, he's kind of stumbling through it, maybe not handling
Yeah.
things in the best
Right.
way, but I don't know. I just felt like there was like some leadership that he stepped into.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't think of specific parts, but
No, he absolutely should.
was
With
there.
Lupin, like that's a moment
Yeah.
of leadership when he really feels like convicted to do something. Harry has just utter conviction, and it's just something that's really admirable, I think. All right, hot tamale.
Creature?
Never thought I'd see the day.
That a creature would be hot.
he's got some fire
tamale.
behind him. With the fire, with the
fair.
pan.
Spicy indeed. Kreacher and Winky. I could see it.
We're gonna ship Kreacher and Winky. All right, that could work.
I feel like their names say it all. What's your hot tamale?
Oh, it's Harry.
Why?
You did say that.
Just because I feel like I don't know, something about his interaction with Kreacher. I feel like the giving him the locket, that was like a moment.
It's like kind of connection.
Yeah, love connection. Yeah.
It's like you know those like memes
sassiness.
when they're like music changes the whole thing in the movies. If he gives them
Yes.
to the thing, it's like ba, da, 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 and he gives him this little locket. And it's like a love connection between
Yep.
Kreacher and Harry.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
That was hot tamale energy, you know?
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, Ron and Hermione did fall asleep
I was
holding
gonna say
hands.
they
So
were-
that's
they were
Yeah,
That's
it is
cute.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
they
is
were
really cute. You're giving it to Winky, right? Or no, Winky, Kreacher. Wow. I'm thinking of Kreacher and Winky
like-
being together now.
She's not. No. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, obviously he doesn't have romantic hot tamale, but he had
Mm.
fire behind him.
There were a lot of fiery characters in these chapters. There's a lot of hot tamales. I'm gonna give mine to 2 people. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm giving them to 2 dead people. So that's a little weird. I'm giving one to Lily. Because I think her letter is hot tamale energy.
She's
true.
hot.
She's hot, yeah.
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 All lilies are probably.
Yeah. And I'm giving one
Well, he loves
to
plants. So.
I know. I had a peace lily. I don't have a
That's the
peace lily
connection.
anymore, but I'm giving one to Regulus Black for being a hot tamale and sacrificing his life essentially for the life of a house elf, which is pretty astounding.
Oh,
So true.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That is hot tamale energy. That's great love right there.
He
Yep.
can't be dead. I got so excited that he was going to help them.
I know. You guys were
Yeah.
on that for a while.
Well, the thing
Sirius
is,
mentions that he's dead too.
I hope he's not dead. Yeah, but if he isn't, what's the deal? He's been hiding this whole time, like, and just never came out, never
Yeah.
talked to his brother again.
Yep.
Or Sirius has to lie for him
Witness
or something.
protection
Like, I just,
program.
oof. I'd love for him to be alive. Seems like a
But
tough
do they
one.
even know how he died? Okay, never mind. It's good.
Yeah, Sirius maybe never knew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sirius went to his grave thinking that his brother was evil, which is
Yep.
kind of sad. What was the last thing you were gonna say? You went, oh,
No, because I was just thinking that didn't they think Voldemort killed him?
yeah,
So it just kind of stinks. Like, yeah, thinking he's evil and Voldemort killed him.
yeah.
Like, kind of stinks.
I know it does. It really does.
But they're on the other side of the veil together now, if
I
that's
know.
how it works.
They're beyond the veil together. I know. Well, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Until next time.
All right, Jen, you peaked. So what'd you see? You couldn't help it once I
Did you see
said
the
it.
chapter title?
Yeah, you know what? You just don't say it, and then I won't look.
That one.
I'm learning. I
well,
just keep forgetting.
honestly,
So you're not learning.
that chapter title, you're not gonna know what the heck that chapter title is about, or the chapter
It's
art.
like Hermione looking at a mirror with a chair.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Hermione looking at a mirror with a chair.
In the mirror.
What, chair's in the mirror?
Yeah. Look at the picture.